In preparation for the main heating for the new homestead, we have decided to purchase a wood boiler, the Clean Fire 900 from Woodmaster. We plan on hooking it up here on our current property till the house is ready for it to be installed.
Alright guys, so a lot of you have been wondering what our plans are in terms of heating our house and what we're going to do for power. Our thought has always been is, since we have so much wood on the property that was left over from when the loggers were in there, that some sort of a wood system was the best way to go. We've got enough wood on the property that's already on the ground that if you could keep it from rotting, we've got years and years worth. And then I'm guessing as the years go by, you're going to have wind-blown trees that come down, areas you need to thin out. So what is the option that we're going to go with? Looking into systems, just having a wood fireplace isn't the most efficient way of heating, and we've looked into getting a wood boiler and heating it that way. Now there's two options we can do with the wood boiler. We can either do a system where we use a furnace and the boiler just heats the water, and it goes into a water to air heat exchanger, which then you have to have a ducted system. And in our house, being that's an open concept, there's not a lot of room in order to have a ducted system. So the second option is you can go with in-floor radiant heat, which is the way that we plan on going, is the in-floor radiant heat, which we'll have on the main floor and on the top floor. Now that does take a lot more work and time planning out the whole system. You got to have different zones. You got to make sure your runs aren't over 300 feet, and then getting it so that you're not heating one room too much and the other rooms then stay cold. So there's a lot of planning involved with that, and then sizing the system. We also wanted to be able to heat our greenhouse so that we could have year-round growing. Heating the shop was another thing we wanted, and the possibility to heat the barn. So to do all that with wood stoves, you'd be constantly maintaining them, making sure they're full of wood. Whereas with a boiler, we can get one system that feeds everything, and there's only one fire that we got to maintain. So it's a lot more work in the beginning, but once it's all up and running, we've got a lot less areas that we would have to keep the fire going in. It's just one fire to keep going. So that's kind of the idea. What we're going to go with for heating wise. Also, the other benefit was we can also heat our hot water with it, so we don't have to burn electricity in order to heat our hot water. We can heat it right off the boiler. As well, we could plumb in if you wanted to do a pool or a hot tub, that can also all run off the boiler. So there's quite a few options with it. I think we'll also have backup plans. We will have a wood burning fireplace in the house, in case the boiler did go down. We're looking into possibly doing some mini split AC units where we can have our air conditioning, but they also could heat as well. just so that we have redundancy, so that if something does go down, we have other options in order to keep things warm, and we're not relying on just one system. So that's kind of our option, what we're doing for heat. Now there's only really 3 main companies that are out there that seem to be leading the way with wood boilers. We reached out to all 3 of them, trying to figure out what the best option was for us. So anyways, we looked into them, tried to get some pricing. We had a dealer up in Prince George that we were trying to get information from, trying to size the system, trying to get pricing. Just had numerous issues with trying to get any information. This went on for a good month and a half. Finally got the information, but it wasn't. It just didn't seem like it was the correct information. So we ended up contacting Woodmaster direct and got our sizing through them, which didn't match what the dealer was trying to tell us. And the whole problem was it was just a newer dealer that wasn't really trying to push the systems and didn't really know too much about them. And in the end, I was going to pull the trigger on purchasing one. This was about a month or 2 later, and went to contact them about putting the money down, since there was a long lead time. It was a good 6 to 8 months to get the unit. I'm guessing just because of the whole COVID issue on supply, and I wanted to order it to make sure I got it, and contacted them, and then had to deal with somebody totally new. Never returned my first couple phone calls or emails, and I finally had enough, and I thought, well, why don't I just become a dealer? Since it seems this company doesn't want to do it, maybe there's an opportunity out here to sell some of these units, something else to kind of get into and keep things interesting. It's right in the kind of line of stuff I'm kind of excited about right now. So I reached out to Woodmaster, and it took a few weeks back and forth talking to them, and figuring out how the whole setup worked, what was involved, what was expected from me, what was expected from them. And in the end, we decided that we were going to become a dealer. So we finalized that, and with that, it meant we had to purchase a certain amount of units, and to get us initialized. And we ordered our boiler as well as one other one that seemed to kind of be the most popular size that people were buying, and put the order in. It took about a month and a half for ours to be made, and we went to set up our freight, and it seemed that it was just another problem we had to deal with. Problems trying to find trucking that would pick it up. Finding somebody that could actually give us a timeline on when they would come get it, and then when we finally found some companies, the pricing was absolutely ridiculous. We were getting quotes anywhere from $3,800 to $5,000 to pick these 2 units up, which yes, they come out of the factory in Minnesota, which isn't a short drive, but at the same point, they don't take up a whole truck. So I kind of hemmed and hawed about it, and then finally decided I had a bit of downtime in between jobs, that maybe I would just go pick them up myself. That way I was guaranteed I know when I was going to grab them, and I was assured that then I have them, and I figured I could save on fuel costs going to get them, and I could make kind of a little trip out of it, and see a little farther east than what we've gone on some of our road trips. So needless to say, I'm going to be taking off down to Minnesota for a couple days, and I got Big Daddy who's coming along with me, and we're going to go down there and see what it's like there in Minnesota. I think on the way down we're going to head through, we're going to take Highway 1 across Canada to Manitoba, and then cut across there into Minnesota, pick them up, and probably make our way back on the US side through North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, and then back up to Washington and across the border. So let's get on out of here and see what it's like. First stop of the trip, Sycamoose. Not really much here. All right, well, we made it to Calgary, and we were running low on fuel, and you would think, being such an oil-rich province, they would have gas stations everywhere, but they're few and far between, and for some reason they only like to put them on one side of the road, so it makes it a bit of a pain in the ass when you got a 30-foot trailer and truck to try to get to the other side. But we made it, and we're only at $1.44, and we like the price of that. Alright, we got our dinner stop here in Medicine Hat, Alberta. We're going to try the Ralph's Steakhouse. Well, dinner was a bust, so we're 2 for 2. Diner for lunch was awful. This wasn't much better. See if Saskatchewan has something a little nicer. Alright everybody, we're in Moose Jaw. Doesn't look like there's much here. Getting gas again. $1.62. Still cheaper than home, but not as cheap as Alberta. And it's still boring. Nothing on the roads. Just long, straight, cold. It's minus 15 here. Was minus 19, the coldest we've got so far. We'll see what happens. We'll go a little further tonight, and I think park it and get a little sleep. Get up early in the morning and make the last 8 hours to Greenbush, Minnesota. Moose Jaw! Alright, we made it across the border into Minnesota. First time I've been here since they started handing out the Kool-Aid. But diesel's still cheap, $3.89 a gallon. Beats our price. We got about another hour drive and we should be at Woodmaster. do you think of Minnesota?
Minnesota's nice and flat.
I don't know about nice, but it's definitely flat.
Do a lot of cross-country skiing here.
I'd like to see you do that. Hi, we are here at Woodmaster Central Boiler. Here to pick up our wood stoves. We got to go in and see where we got to go. Alright guys, we got to go to door 15. And I spoke to him about getting a tour, so I'm hoping once we pick up everything that we can come back and get a tour of the place. Alright, we just finished strapping everything up and getting everything loaded onto the truck. Here's a look at what we got. We got 2 units, one Clean Fire 900 and one Clean Fire 500. The 900 is for us up at the property, and the 500 we sold to a customer out in Prince George. And then we've got our Thermopex on board, as well as all our other pumps and pipes and miscellaneous parts are all inside. So we are going to we're not going to be traveling back through Canada. The way home we're going to go through the States, just because Canada was pretty boring and the highway sucked, thanks Trudeau. So we're going to take another scenic route and see what we find. Good morning. It's beginning of day 3. We made it last night just into Montana. Currently we're just outside of Great Falls, and as you can see, it's pretty cold. It got down to minus 22 last night. It's minus 14 right now, and we're making our way back up. Here's a look at the morning sunrise coming up.
I can't figure it out.
All right, so we made it back. We got back last night around 10 p.m. It was 3 days of driving, 55 hours of driving, and around 5,200 kilometers. But we made it back. Everything's in one piece. The stuff got a little dirty. We did wrap everything up, but within I don't know, 5 minutes on the road it just started shredding, and by the time we had made it a couple hours, it was all flapping in the wind, and we ended up taking it all off. So the units got kind of dirty. Luckily, I don't think we didn't get any rock chips or anything like that. There wasn't a lot of traffic, but we got to get these all pressure washered clean, and we'll bring them into the shop to dry off. The one's got to be re-wrapped up for the customer, this little guy here. That one's going out in April, and then the bigger one, the Clean Fire 900, that's ours for our property. And what our plan is we're going to set it up here at our property down here for this year, since we won't need it up there, and we'll run it for our heat and our hot water this year, and then when we're ready to bring it up there, then we'll rehook it up there. So I want to go through, I'll probably go through a look at these units, kind of what to expect when you get them. This is kind of what you're going to see. We'll do a brief kind of look over everything, and then we'll do a pretty in-depth install here, where you can see what's kind of involved in doing a retrofit on already having a ducted furnace in your house. and then it'll be a way more in depth on the new construction for doing in-floor heat and all that stuff. But that's probably a good year down the road. So for now, we'll just do the retrofit here, and then yeah, we'll show you what we like and what we don't like, and go from there.
Drop a comment below for anyone interested from the Vancouver coast, south of Williams Lake to the U.S. border, as we are now a Woodmaster boiler dealer. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos.